Divine ones, how's it going? I'm doing good on this Friday. I hope that you all are, and if you are not, that you are taking the steps necessary to get to a much better place than what you are feeling and to where you are now. As we know, that healing is a journey, so one day may be up, day may be down. You never know. And we never know what may come along and trigger us when we're having a good day that'll bring us right back to where we started, right? I'm doing good. Like I've said, on this beautiful Friday, it's sunny, cumulus clouds where I'm located. And I don't have any plans for the weekend. What do you guys have planned? Anything fun or anything that is going to contribute to your healing? For me, I'm going to take it easy. It's going to be a go with the flow type of weekend. And so that means that I'm not going to plan anything. I'm just going to see where the wind takes me and go from there. So whatever I feel called to do, I know there's things that I know that I definitely have to do. 1, 2, 3, as I said that. But I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. So I think I'm going to just kind of come up with a little plan and, go from there. But I'm just going to kind of, like I said, I'm not going to plan anything definite, but just see where the day takes me, if that makes sense. But it's Friday. I've got 2 days off. So, yay. 2 days to hustle and, work on my other job, basically. But I'm still off and, from the main one, so we'll put it like that. Feeling a lot better today. I've been kind of struggling for about a week, but feeling a lot better today too. So, getting there. It's a process, 2, 2, 3, as I said that. But, hi guys. So, today, remember I was talking about soul contracts, and we're going to talk about today twin flames. So I was doing a little bit of research about the twin flame dynamic and all of that. I know when it comes to the spiritual community, there's a lot of, from what I've learned, there's a lot of confusion when it comes to twin flame dynamics and how there seems to be so much focus on another person more than your actual self, when it seems from the information that I researched that the sole purpose is to focus on self so that you can come into union with someone else, if that is how the cards are going to lay. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and jump into what I was able to find, 323, as I said that. I'm just so glad I feel so much better because I was kind of toe up for a bit. So, it's been a journey. So anyway, let's get into it. So, twin flames. Yes. Twin flames are often described as the ultimate counterpart. A twin flame is conceptually one soul split into two bodies, often called mirrored souls. The foundational belief is that twin flames share the exact same energetic blueprint. When you meet, the connection is immediate, highly magnetic, and ultimately forces both individuals to confront their deepest insecurities, fears, and past traumas. All right. Let's talk about the connection. This bond acts as a deep, intense spiritual mirror. I'm just kind of reiterating, but this was a part of it. This bond acts as a deep, intense spiritual mirror that brings out your greatest strengths and deepest insecurities to spark massive personal growth. The difference. While soulmates are about mutual support, emotional maturity, and comfort. Twin flames often involve a push-pull dynamic geared towards self-actualization, and awakening. The relationship with yourself. Many agree that the most foundational and highest bond is self-love and internal harmony. 528, as I said that. Authenticity. Authenticity. Once you operate at a higher vibrational frequency and are happy with your authentic self, you can attract a matching partner without codependency. The source. The idea is that no external soulmate can complete you until you are already whole, all on your own. The conscious life partner. Some psychological and relationship frameworks suggest that a committed, practical partner supersedes the mystical idea of a soulmate. Shared values. The bond goes beyond destiny or past life connections to focus on everyday mutual effort, trust, and shared life goals. The choice. It recognizes that love is an active daily decision to grow together rather than a fated match written in the stars. Okay. So let's go over the 8 stages. I like that there's 8, infinity, right? 656, as I said that. So the 8 stages. The journey is typically described as an intense, turbulent, but spiritually guided process. So stage 1, yearning and preparation. An intuitive feeling that a profound soul connection is coming. That's stage 1. Stage 2, meeting. The initial unmistakable spark of recognition when you cross paths. Alright, stage 3, the bubble phase. A blissful, idealized honeymoon period where everything feels magical. Aww. Stage 4, the challenge. Subconscious triggers, fears, and flaws begin to surface in both people. Okay. Stage 5, the run and chase dynamic. The tension becomes too much, causing one to pull away, which is considered the runner, and the other to pursue the connection, which is the chaser. Okay, let's go to stage 6. Surrender. A period of letting go of expectations, breaking attachments, and focusing on personal healing rather than forcing the relationship. Stage 7, the test. Major life tests that challenge your commitment to your own spiritual growth. Stage 8, union. Both individuals have done their inner work and come together as a balanced partnership. So this is a side note. I thought that this was really important based on what I would hear in the collective, the spiritual collective, in regard to twin flame dynamics. So I just wanted to make this a side note that I felt was really important. Exercise caution that the intense, all-consuming nature of the dynamic can sometimes be romanticized or used to justify toxic, codependent, or even abusive behaviors. It is even advised to focus on individual mental health and boundary setting over the relationship. I thought that that was a highly important side note. So I wanted to make sure I added that at the end. But this is what I had researched. Of course, there's so much more information, but you guys, I just want to keep my information kind of brief. As like I said, as we continue one-on-one, as I said, that as we continue on this journey, healing and learning and growing together, we'll talk more about these different things because they all tie into healing, right? Because these 8 different steps, man, they sound pretty intense. And I've heard some people experience this themselves. This is pretty heavy. This is some heavy stuff. But like I said, the soul contracts as a whole, they are pretty profound when it comes to developing self, you know, on a spiritual level. So, you know, if you decide that, like myself, that you are going to go ahead and abide by your soul contract best to your ability, right? And accomplish that, you know, I would say the task within that contract is not going to be any joke, man. I'm 128, as I said, that's actually my birthday, but oh my gosh, yeah, that's some intense stuff. That's some intense stuff. I feel like all the contracts are pretty intense. 141 or 114, as I said that, and it's like, man. So you know, I can relate to a lot of the different things that we've been learning this week. Can any of you? Can any of you relate? 11:59, as I said that. So, man, I'm telling you, just we have to, you know, keep lifting each other up. We're in this together. You're not alone. Again, you know, we have our spiritual teams. I've explained before what, you know, those are. If you, you know, are relying on them, again, my spiritual team is God, which I call my mother and my father, my mother and my heavenly Father, my guardian angels, and my ancient ancestors and ancestors that have my best interests at heart. And also my extraterrestrial support, I add them in there too. That is my team, and I heavily rely on them. And I am still learning how to lean on them more and more and more, because of just being in the matrix so long and just taking hits left and right, learning the harsh lessons, you know, accruing PTSD and trauma and all of that. And, you know, it's rough out here. It is. And Earth School is no joke either, especially once you make a decision to take your seat at your desk, enroll full time, and take your course work and your lessons seriously. It is not a game out here. But we're all in this together, right? So I encourage you all to continue to do your healing work. It is difficult, but if you truly want to evolve, you know, you'll do what is necessary to get where you want to be, right? But that is what I wanted to talk about today. We talked about the twin flames, a little bit about that, right? I thought that was really interesting. Really, really interesting. So next week I want to talk about the soul contract chart, because I was talking about that. I believe that was on Wednesday. So I want to dig into that, and then also I wanted to talk about, I think it was soul amnesia. It was something else that I wanted to discuss. So I wanted to talk about, I know in particular, those two next week, and then we'll see if those kind of take up all of next week. If so, cool. And then, like I said, you know, I may get out and do a little something, so I may share, you know, my weekend time with you guys, or jump on real quick and provide a message of inspiration for you all, as we all need that, right? 454, as I said that. We all need uplifting and encouragement while we're traveling along this healing process. And, it is a mixture of many things. I'll say that. It's beautiful, it's amazing, it's eye-opening, it's life-changing, definitely. But it's also excruciating and emotional and draining and exhausting. There's just so many different flow of emotions that, we're going to encounter along this journey. But you're not by yourself. There's plenty of support out there. Always remember that, because the enemy will always try to remind you of your weaknesses, and that's the game that it likes to play. 155, as I said that. And I always try to encourage you all to do your best not to believe, the lies that the enemy tries to tell you. But we shall prevail. We shall prevail. But that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to end it here. I hope that you guys have a great weekend, whether you're working or not. I definitely plan to have a great weekend. I'm going to continue to do my healing in all aspects. And I will see you guys, if not over the weekend, I will see you guys on Monday. All right. Love, peace, and grace. Bye, guys.